All right, now that we've connected to our data source, we're going to create a data source view. To create a data source view, we're going to simply right-click on the data source views folder and select on New Data Source View. Once again, we have a wizard, and on the opening screen, we're going to click on Next. And what data source do we want to click on? And we've already created one. It's PTI Data Warehouse Complete. So we make sure that's selected and select Next. Now, in this particular view, it's asking what tables do we want to include in our view. Really, we want to include everything from the dimension batch to the fact table. So I'm going to hold down my Shift key and select on Fact Manufacturing. And then I'm going to also click on this little arrow here at the top, and that will move everything from the left available objects to the right included objects. All right. This is what I want to have as part of my data source view, and what that system object here on the left should make sure that's not included. Select on Next. And what do we want to name this? We want to name this basically our PTI Data Warehouse Complete, and I'm going to just put view at the end of it so I know it's a data source view. And I will click on Finish. Now we currently have a data source view, and now we can actually start to look at something. So I'm going to double click on the data source view here on the right, and it gives us a view of our data. All right, or more or less our data warehouse. So in the center section, you can move things around just like we could before in SQL Server Management Studio. And I'm actually going to move these around in a way so that way they can occupy the screen in a way that I can see everything. And I'll zoom to fit, maybe make a few other edits, like maybe move this up here and move these around. All right. So there we go. Do one more zoom to fit. And let's see what that looks like. Oh, that's not much better. Just move the plant over here and zoom to fit. Okay, so you can go ahead and play around with this the best that you can just to kind of get things in a way that you can see everything. Now, one of the things that we want to do with this particular project is we want to add more to the fact manufacturing table. Now, in a data source view, it's capturing what we want in the data warehouse, and we've designed our dimensional model properly to include the majority of the information that we are wanting to analyze. Now, what we also want to do is add a little bit more, calculated features to this particular fact table that will allow us to analyze our data better. One of the things we can do is break down the time value or the date of manufacture into 3 or 4 different time variants. One could be of a month, one could be of a year, and one could be of a quarter. So let me show you how to do that. So by the way, I'm going to just simply copy and paste some of the scripts that are provided here. Okay, so with that, I'm going to show you how to insert and create a new named calculation. Right. So the first thing is I'm going to right click on the fact manufacturing table, and I am going to create a new named calculation. This first one is going to be called year of manufacture, no spaces. And I am going to go ahead and copy the script that was provided, and I am going to paste it inside our expression area here. All right. And I'll hit OK, and you can see year of manufacture was added. I'm going to do the same thing with the month of manufacture. Okay, I call it month of manufacture, and I will copy the script and then paste it here in the expression. All right, and the last thing is the quarter of manufacture, and I am going to add a new name calculation, add the quarter manufacture name, and the script below. Now, what this does is it actually converts the date of manufacture into something that is readable. And we're going to take a look at that here in a moment. So we have added all 3 of those things. By the way, I'm just going to hit save here at the top just to make sure I don't lose my work. And I'm going to right click on the fact manufacturing table, and this time I'm going to go to Explore Data. And what this does is it provides us a view of the data based on the data source view. Now on the left-hand side, everything here all the way to here is data that is in the data warehouse. Okay, so that's just giving us a view of that particular data. But these last three rows are the rows that we just created. Notice we have year of manufacture, month of manufacture, and quarter of manufacture. Now let's take a look at the data. Right here in the year of manufacture, it's just 2006. And what we've done is we've extracted the year out of this particular value, which is the date of manufacture. For the month of manufacture, it gives us the year and the month. So basically, we've combined the year and the month out of this particular value. Now, the last thing is it gives us the year and a quarter. And we actually created a script that would be able to interpret the year and the month and then translate that into the quarter. And this helps us, or this will help us, sort through our data a little bit better when we go to analyze it. We'll see how it goes as we kind of progress forward. All right. I'm going to close that view, and we're going to be back to our data source view. Just because I'm a little bit OCD, I want to zoom it to fit, and I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Right. So now we want to create a cube based off this view. And to do that, we're going to go onto the right-hand side of our Solution Explorer, right-click on cubes, and select on New Cube. In the wizard, we'll select on Next. And now we want to use existing tables to create our cube. So Next. Now, in this cube creation, there's a series of questions that are being asked. So the first question is, where are our measures and where do we want to pull them from? Well, we know that measures are in our fact table. So simply we just check on that fact table box and nothing more, and select on Next. And here's a confirmation as to what measures that we have. And notice that it adds something new that we didn't have before, and that is a manufacturing count. So this is actually something that is valuable to us, and it's a way that SQL Server Analysis Services can give us a sum total of all of the items that are in our fact table. All right, we're going to leave everything as default, select on Next. The next question is about our dimensions. Well, if you look, everything is checked here, but we know that a fact table is not a dimension. So let's go ahead and uncheck the fact table and leave everything else checked. Okay, so basically these two at the bottom should be unchecked. Everything else should be checked. Select on Next, and then it's now asking what we want to name this. We're going to call this PTI Data Warehouse Complete Cube, and it gives us a preview of the measures and the dimensions that it's going to create for us. All right, let's finish. Okay, it's just taking a little bit of time, and it works out for us. Okay. Now, you'll notice that here we have a new data source view, but this is not the data source view that we created. This is a view of the view. So it can be a little bit confusing. I'm going to go ahead and move a few things around, and I'm going to make a small edit. So let me zoom to fit. And what I want to edit is going to be out here on the left. So here we can see all of our measures that are included. And what I want to do is I want to rename fact manufacturing count just to say simply manufacturing count. So I'm going to select on that. And in the bottom right-hand side, we have an attribute here called name. And we're going to click on this and just remove the word fact from the name. There we go. Oh. And we can see that once we've done that, then not only is the name changed here, but it's also changed over here. So I'm going to save all my work, and I will get started on making some edits to this cube in the next video.